Actor James Gandolfini has passed away at the age of 51. So what has been the impact of his character, Tony Soprano, on television and society at large? You know, I don't often veer off topic on this show because after all, this is a baseball show and we really should be talking about the Red Sox and the sport of baseball in general on a consistent basis, and I rarely like to deviate from that. But with the passing of James Gandolfini and the character of Tony Soprano going into the night, I felt that I really should take a few minutes to say a few words about this character. Not so much about the man, because I didn't know James Gandolfini, and I'm sure 99% of us out there didn't know the man personally. We just knew what we saw on the television screen, and of course, he radiated his existence through Tony Soprano on the hit HBO show. And when you think about the character of Tony Soprano, it really is one of the iconic figures all time in television. It's right up there with Archie Bunker, Detective Andy Sipowicz, Jack Tripper, Alex P. Keaton, George Jefferson. I mean, the list goes on to these iconic figures. But we never saw anyone quite like Tony Soprano before he came along. And he was different because he was on cable television, and he could use profanity, and he could use vulgarities to get his point across. And as this character came into being and developed over the years, people wanted to be Tony Soprano. They wanted to have both sides of the coin for their taking, as Tony did. I mean, Tony as a character went out there and he took, and he didn't care what the consequences were. But in the end, I think that the show tried to humanize him very much. And James Gandolfini, in many of the tributes that I've read about him, and I've read almost 24 about him since his passing, said that on paper, Tony Soprano is a horrible character as sketched on paper. But it was James Gandolfini, the person, who humanized him, brought the human element to him, and he was the thing that made people, when you saw Tony Soprano on that television screen, want to have sympathy for him. It was James Gandolfini with those sad eyes. That's something that we've heard so much about in the last couple of days as we've read the tributes. And even in the show itself, Tony Soprano always commented on how he felt like he came in at the end and how he felt like the sad clown. He would say that to Dr. Melfi in the episodes. And I'll tell you, you'll never see a character like this in television again because he was the first of its kind. And no matter what characters are down the road in the future, Tony will always be the model on which that character is built. And that is a tribute not just to David Chase for creating the actor on paper, but of course for Gandolfini for bringing him to life. There'll never be another one like it. And I was very sad when I heard the news, and it's unbelievable that this man passed away at such a young age, 51. So again, even though this is a baseball show, I just wanted to take a few minutes to say that we do remember Tony Soprano and James Gandolfini for this iconic character. We'll never forget him, and we thank him for bringing that character to life and giving us so much joy and so much interest in this show over its 86 episodes. So for you guys out there, share your thoughts on your remembrances of James Gandolfini and the character of Tony Soprano. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends about This Week in Red. And don't forget to check out my blog at BoSoxInjection.com.